Here's last Sunday's message in 2 minutes-ish. And to be honest, we hit a pretty big topic this Sunday, so 2 minutes is really not going to do this justice. But here goes. So we talked about racism and what is the biblical answer to racism. Well, to find out, what we have to do is go back and find out what does the Bible say about race. In the beginning, God created two people, Adam and Eve, and that's it. There was no one else created. Cain would have had to have married either his sister or niece. Cain was Adam and Eve's son. They actually had several sons and daughters. The Bible doesn't record how many sons and daughters they had. Josephus, who is extra biblical, records that they had 53 children or 55 children. Now I can't remember, either 53 or 55. The point is, there was only one race. All people were descended from Adam and Eve, and there is no one else. The Bible declares there's only one race. And in fact, in 2 Corinthians, Paul says we are all come from one blood. And this is important because if there's only one race, we can't have racism. It's not a biblical concept. So then the question you might have is, well, where do all the different colors come from? And the answer is simple. Within the genetic code of two medium brown people is everything needed to create all the skin tones of the entire world. And that's what Adam and Eve must have been. They must have been medium skin toned. And we see it today. We have people who are medium skin toned who have made the news because they had sets of twins, and one came out very dark and one came out very light. In fact, one might say one looked black and one looked white. But what we really find that's true is that we're actually all one color. There's only one color to the human race, and that is brown. It's just I'm a very light brown, and some people might be very dark brown, but we're all brown. There's no one who's actually black, no one who's actually white. There's definitely no yellow, red. We're all brown. We're all one color. We're one race. We all come from the line of Adam. So where did the notion of racism come from? Well, racism actually started, there's been always little elements of it here and there, but it really exploded when Darwinism came about. When the theory of evolution came about, that people of different races evolved from different species. Now, they all say in evolution, it says they all come from a single ancestor, but at some point there was a splitting off somewhere in the primate era where the different races evolved from 4 different primates. So there, since they say they evolve from different places, it's easy to conclude one race may have evolved more so and be more highly evolved than another race. And then you have people beyond Darwin, like Francis Galton, who argued for eugenics. And that's where Hitler comes into place, where they actually argued for exterminating those of a lesser race. And this is what is the real point here. The reason racism exists, the reason that eugenics came about, the reason all these things happened is because people stopped having a biblical worldview and they started using human logic and reasoning to figure things out without going back to the Bible to see what the Bible says about it. The Bible says there's one race, one blood, no reason for racism. And people didn't want to accept that. They used human logic and reasoning, and they came up with the idea of inferior races, and that's where racism really got its legs and came into being. So besides the fact that it's just inherently horrible, there's other reasons for Christians not to hold to racist views, and specifically to hold to the fact that we're all of one human race. And that is simply this: Jesus came to die for the human race, for those who are in the line of Adam. Romans chapter 5 is dedicated in the most part, to explaining that we were all in the line of Adam. Christ died for those in the line of Adam, that those who accept him would then be transferred to the line of Christ. So, all that to be said, when we hold to a biblical point of view and a biblical worldview, we won't have problems with things like racism and other sins that come into this world. What we do is when we abandon a biblical worldview and take on a logic, reason, and fleshly worldview, that's where we get ourselves into trouble. So, really bad summary probably of the message. You might want to watch it. Although it's lengthy, it's over about an hour long. But anyways, that's it. Bye.